Once you have created the shell of your survey, the next step is to add your questions to your survey. You do this by selecting the survey that you are wanting to add questions to. You can click anywhere onto the grid, survey title, so that this survey becomes activated. You'll see it on the right-hand side. This is the shell of your survey. The bottom grid is where you would be adding your questions. You click on Add New Question, and your question box is going to open. Each question within your survey is added in this same box, and I'm going to explain the different parts of the box to you. The first block is where you're going to insert your question title. For the question that I'm going to add, the question title is satisfaction. Anywhere in CLA that you see this icon over here, you would be able to go into that section of the text and update your font type, your font size, your font color, etc. The question itself goes into the next block. This question is, how satisfied are you with communications in our company? This little checkbox over here is where you set your question to be anonymous or not. So in this case, let's decide this question is anonymous. You would simply check that. If your question is not anonymous, you would uncheck it. An anonymous question would allow you to see the number of responses received for each response choice, but you would not be able to see who made which choice. Your response types that are available within CLA are yes, no, NA, agree, disagree, and agree, disagree, NA. Those first four response types are pre-populated response types. We've set them up for you, and you are able to use them as they are. If they do not suit your question type, we do also have a free text option which will allow your end user to insert text. This is open-ended. They would be able to type in whichever answer they would like to. You also have a rearrange option which would allow you to give the user options that they need to put into order of preference, or order that processes need to be followed, etc. Most commonly used probably is your single select. This is where you give your user options. They are able to make a single selection, in other words, one selection from your list of options, or a multi-select where your user is able to select multiple responses from a list that you provide. We are going to set up a single select. The number of options that we are going to allow the end user, in this case, we're going to set up 4 options. You are able to decide to show these options to your end user as a drop-down, as opposed to a list. We're not going to show it as a drop-down though. And in here, I'm going to give the various options. So it's very satisfied, satisfied, dissatisfied, and very dissatisfied. Okay. The 3 features that you have available to you on each question is a dependency, which is basically when your question is dependent on the answer in a previous question. Your first question cannot be dependent on another answer, as it is the first question that the user is being presented with. You are able to set up scoring, which is your marking, if you want to, on testing and training questions, and you are able to insert calendar items. These 3 options will be shown to you in a later part of this video. Once you have finished adding your options, you click on Save Changes. Are you sure you want to save this question? Yes. And it is going to insert it into your question grid. Now we're going to add question 2. Okay, the question title is Impression. Okay. Which of the following best describes your impression of communications within our company? Again, I would decide at this level whether this question is anonymous or not. I am going to again select a single select and give the user 4 options. This time I am going to display it as a drop-down. And the options I'm going to give is keeps us fully informed, keeps us fairly informed, gives us limited information, and does not keep us informed at all. Right, again, it's not dependent on a previous question. There's no right or wrong answer, and there's no calendar item. These will be covered just now. Save changes, save the question, and it adds it to the grid. So basically, you would just keep adding questions to your survey. I'm going to complete the rest of the questions, and when you join me again, there will be 8 questions in this grid.